What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Redriveraviation. Hope you're having a fantastic day today. And today I have a very exciting fleet by type for you all. Today we're going to be taking a look at my Frontier Airlines collection, as we've had some solid changes here throughout the last couple years at this point. I really hope each and every one of you are excited for today's video. And without any further delay, let's go ahead and take a look at the Frontier fleet. So as you can tell, we have a variety of tails here. Frontier is a really cool airline, of course, exhibiting their low-cost model in conjunction with some really cool animals on their tails. So really excited to take a look at these. These are some of my favorites, so that's why I've chosen to buy the ones that I have. And I'm really excited to hopefully get more of these in the future, as they're really cool to get all this variety in, and overall they look really good. So without any further delay, let's not waste any further time and go ahead and get started, guys. We're gonna start right here with the this is a Velocity models. Frontier Airbus A320 Ordinal the Cardinal. So this is a really cool model that Velocity, which was a subsidiary of Aero Classics, did. So really cool to see this model here. They did a really good job on it. I really like the Cardinal on the tail. I think it looks really nice. So this is certainly a very cool model to have in the collection. I think it's quite a powerful asset. So very excited to have this one, and it looks really good. Our next model is going to be a custom actually on an Aero Classics mold. This is a Frontier Airbus A320 Neo, and this is Pike the Otter. This is a fantastic customs that Diecast Deals 915 on eBay did. He did a terrific job on it, so very happy with it. Of course, it's not, as good as what GeminiJets or somebody would do, of course, but it's very comparable, especially considering how good the tail is. The only real hesitation really is right there in the nose, but outside that, fantastic effort. It looks really good. Like, if I wouldn't have told you, there's a chance you wouldn't have noticed. So really glad to have it. It's a really cool tail. I love Pike. He's a really good guy. I've got to see him a couple times, so that's really cool, and excited to see him hopefully more in the future. Then definitely by far my absolute favorite, we have this Frontier Airbus A320 by GeminiJets. This is Griswold the Bear. Griswold's a doofus. What a guy he is, quite a character, and I'm really glad to have him here in the collection today. This is the GeminiJets hybrid mold they had that they used on a couple of models back in 2015 area. And now, as you can see right here, we have Griswold on this 320. I really hope to get the Neo at some point. I know there was an Aero Classics custom, and I want to say Aero Classics maybe has done the Neo at this point, but nevertheless, I definitely want to get on the Neo, since that's where Griswold resides now, opposed to his old Airbus A320, but he's a complete bozo. I'm just going to go ahead and give you a little bit closer view, because he is a complete goofball, so really glad to have Griswold today. Great guy, and he looks really good here on this tail, so definitely one of my favorites, and really glad to have this one, to say the least, right there. Our next aircraft, we have this Frontier Airbus A320 Neo, and this is Colorado the Bighorn Sheep. Overall, it looks really good. I'm really happy with this one as well. I got this one and the next, and I got the next two from Waffle Collectibles in 2019 when they were selling them for a very affordable price. So that's why I got them, just to get some good variety. So Colorado, I think there was only a couple choices, so it looked the best, but the Bighorn Sheep ultimately looks good here in the collection. I'm very excited to have it. So overall, looking absolutely fantastic, but a really cool aircraft. Also getting a little bit of a nose tilt in there. That looks really good. So very glad to have this aircraft, and overall it looks really good. So very glad to have it right there. And then we have this Frontier Airbus A320 Neo. This is Georgia the Painted Bunny, one of my absolute favorites too. I need to get some main landing gears to go back on it. I have them in the, and now it's probably not going to want to sit. I have a couple in a bag. I just need to work on them. So overall, this is a really cool tail. Love painted bunnies, and this is a really good example of one on this particular tail. I think it looks really good, and again, very glad to have it in the collection. It looks absolutely fantastic. So a very good job right here by Aero Classics for representing Georgia the Painted Bunny to its fullest potential. And our next aircraft is going to be this Frontier Airbus A320 Neo, and this is Wilbert the Whitetail. This is a really cool one. This was actually my first A320 Neo for Frontier, which is really cool. Only my second ever Frontier models, so definitely a special place in my heart, having it for over about 6 years now. But it does look, it's just not one of those days here at the for the collection. We have two tail heavies that want to sit right next to each other. Anyways, gosh darn it. Anyway, this one looks really good. Very glad to have it. The whitetail, deer looks absolutely fantastic. Really good job on the antlers, and overall it looks really good. So very glad to have this one in the fleet. It looks fantastic. So really good effort right there, to say the least. Our next aircraft is going to be this Frontier Airbus A320 Neo. This is Ed, Eddie, and Edwin the Penguins. This one looks really great too. This is a more recent release. The Penguins are awesome. I originally fell in love with them when they were on the A319, and those were Gem Joe J in gray, and now of course we have the replacement on the A320 Neo, which is a really good one. The Penguins look really cute on the tail, and ultimately I think it's quite a nice lineup of Penguins, I should say. So they look really good. Definitely one of my favorites, and certainly very glad to have it in the collection today. So what a really cool aircraft that is here for the collection. And we have this Frontier Airbus A320 Neo. This is Baja the Whale Shark. This is a really cool one as well. I really like the tail on it too, so that looks absolutely fantastic. So overall, this is a really cool aircraft. I think it's really cool how it's in the ocean, about to come out, so that's really cool. Otherwise, standard Frontier 320 Neo. All of these molds are pretty much identical, so I only have one Gemini that we'll take a look here at a second. But yeah, the mold's really good, very proportional, and definitely does a good job for the rotation. No aerials, but it certainly makes up for it with how good the molds are, proportionally speaking, and just overall with deliveries. And they do a pretty good job on the color on these. There's not really any that have been tremendously horrible. If in fact, I would probably say the blue being a little too dark on this one's probably the worst, which honestly it looks good. So I think they all look really great, and certainly glad to see the variety that we're facilitating here. Next, we have this Frontier Airbus A320 Neo. This is the GeminiJets one. This is Poppy the Prairie Dog. Unfortunately, as you can tell, mine lost its engine cowling at some point, so hopefully track that down in the future. Otherwise, this aircraft is pretty equivalent to the others outside of the aerials and the other features that the Gemini mold facilitates. So yeah, it still does look really good though. Poppy looks really good on the tail. The printing on this one, of course, a little bit of a step up from the Aero Classics, but they look really good, both of them. So, and of course you get the mold deficiencies, but it's not a huge deal, just an assessment. So overall, looking really good on the aircraft, and I think they did a really good job on it. So looking good right there. Okay, into our Frontier Airbus E321 family aircraft. We'll start with the first one. This is Max Lynn. This was the first ever Frontier aircraft that I got, and it looks really nice. So really glad to have it. Hope to get some nose gears for it at some point, as you can tell the color faded a little bit on me over time, but hey, it's still in pretty good shape. So very glad to have it. Max Lynn's a good one. I really like the tail. They did a good job on the detail for it. So overall, it looks really good, and very glad to have it here in the collection today. And then we have one of my absolute favorites, definitely probably the favorite on 321. This is Virginia the Wolf from Aero Classics. They did a really good job on it. The Wolf looks super, super good on there. So very glad to have this one. I really like it. I love the various components that it facilitates, and overall it's a nice extended version. Unfortunately, as you can tell, the sharklet, they got a little whack on the detail there. It's like yellow, if you can see that. But overall, it's not horrible, so definitely not a huge complaint, just an observation note. So overall, still looking pretty good for that aircraft though. And last but certainly not least, we have this Frontier Airbus A321 Steve the Eagle by GeminiJets that they did a couple years ago. This is a really nice aircraft. Unfortunately, I lost an antenna back there, but overall, still in really good shape. I love Steve the Eagle. I saw him several times over time, so really glad to get to have a model of him in the collection, and it does look really good right there. So yeah, I really hope that you all enjoyed this video. I had a bunch of fun making this. Frontier fleet is certainly coming up, and I also didn't include the original Frontier because I do have a Convair and a 737-200, but I just decided to split those so that they are obviously completely different in these, despite a similar concept. So this is all the modern Frontier that you're seeing here. So overall, really great fleet. I'm really excited to see what's to come for Frontier in the future, and I hope each and every one of you are as well. I've flown them a couple times. They've done good to me every time, so I'm sure I'll be back on them here in the future, and I think that they'll do a good job, so excited for that. I love the trading cards. Those are really cool, and overall, having a great time with Frontier, and glad to have some models of them. So with all that being said, everybody, that'll do it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. My name is Redriveraviation. Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe, trust process. Do what you love and love what you do. My name is Redriveraviation. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon as Redriveraviation is signing off.